afternoon, YouTube's me all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bottom Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, before we start this, I want to thank y'all for your prayers, your well wishes for me, because last week I was in the hospital for a couple of days. I had a little situation happen in which I was a little bit lightheaded. I wasn't feeling well. What it was that I was suffering from a slight case of dehydration. That means I had to really, be a little bit more smarter with my water intake, because I also have heart issues. So can't take too much water. I can't take too much water, too little water. So, and I have to go see my doctor later on this week, try to see where we can, what we need to do to make sure this won't happen again. But you know what, some things I need to do myself. I got to be more diligent. I know I can't keep taking the medication like I used to. I got a little more smarter. Sometimes you'll think about things, you do things out of habit. And sometimes habits can hurt you. So anyway, but I like to thank y'all for your concern, and I really appreciate it. It was tough going there, but I'm doing all right. I hope it's nothing too serious. Like I said before, like I said, if there was, they would have told me, but they didn't. It was just that the fact was I should have been drinking more water, and try to keep more hydrated. And also the pills I take sometimes, so it does push out my fluids a little too much. So that means that some of those pills I'm going to have to wean back a little bit on. So that's telling me that my body might be going in a good direction, when which I do need to keep up my water intake. But I'm fine now, and I really thank y'all. So, and I hope nothing else happens like that again. And I'm telling you folks, you don't like to be in the hospital. I used to be in there most of the time. Back in the day, I didn't, before I got diagnosed because of my heart condition, I used to be in the hospital in and out a good bit. And then now for a long time, one time I was in the hospital sitting with my mom when she got in there. But now I have to be a little more smarter. So anyway, today we are doing a little review of the New York Pro. And, that was over the weekend. That's the second bodybuilding show, the second show for women's bodybuilding for this year. As you know, it's going to be so few shows, few in between, because the fact is a lot of shows have been canceled for whatever reason. But we're going to try to keep on moving here. Excuse me, that's the phone. But it was a really good show. We had 10 female bodybuilders this show. One point was 9, but then they changed it. I was going to do a video about that, but something happened. I couldn't do it because the situation happened to me. And folks, I don't know why. What I'm gonna do, folks, is I'm gonna bring in my partners in for a minute. And one of my partners, I don't know why people keep calling me, it's Bill Collector or something like that. One of my partners, we're gonna have a little situation here with him. I'll bring him in here.
Hello.
Yeah, I see that, I see what you got there. This is my partner Jen, the Hand and the Emperor right now. He's testing me, You got a picture of my woman, because Jen got to go to New York Pro, Saturday, and he sent me a little picture, and it was here, got his arm around my woman, I just had a problem with that, But you know what? I'm cool. I'm not there. I could do nothing about it. You should know better. Don't let no enemy touch you. It's not me, but it's cool. So and right here, we had another person that's come in, and that is KL the Wanderer.
What up?
Yeah. What up? I'm trying to be cool right now, Jen. Man, I'm trying to be cool, man.
I ain't mad at you, Jen.
That's my girl. Because I'm like the booty warrior. I like her and I want her. And right now, Jen, what?
I wanted to ask him, what was his experience like talking to her?
It was okay, just a few minute chat. I just said, hey, how you doing? You, Miss Andrea Shaw, and I'm like, oh yeah, I supported you before you even became famous, and I showed her evidence of that, and I was like, okay. hey, let's take a picture. And that was it.
Showing off, huh? Showing off, huh?
Yeah.
Showing off, huh?
I ain't mad
Shut
at
up,
all.
Always.
Well, you know what? I'm mad at him. Let me be mad. Let me be in my feelings right now.
But ain't you player hating?
No, that's why. You know what? If I knew you was gonna bring that, yeah, I should have brought in the. I should put in the hater. I should put in the hater. But you know, it's too late now. We're here now. So anyway, let me calm myself down. Woosah. Okay. We got my hand here, balls deep in the building here, balls deep. He says, "What up? A salute to the what up? A salute." Yeah, I think he balls deep. And and the reason why we're here a little bit early because my man Jen, he has a job, and his job is kind of busy. But because he was at the show, that's why we're doing it early because he was firsthand
Okay.
experience, and he can tell us his side of the story, what he saw, and give us his thoughts and critique. So that's why we do a little earlier than usual. So we're going to hand it off to him, and he can talk about it. And right now, I'm going to cool out a little bit and just just listen. So
It sounds like your microphone keeps popping in and out. Like I can't tell if you're actually doing that on purpose or not, or if it's just.
I'm doing it on purpose because I couldn't have the other guy here, but the other guys. But right now, I am Lord of the Wall, Commander of the North, and I am keeping my composure. But that other guy, those other two guys, But you know what? Go ahead. You have your conversation, son. You take the floor.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, the New York Pro. Yeah, I was there Saturday. Pretty well attended event. I'd say somewhere between 200, 300 people in that auditorium. So I'd say that's a pretty good amount of people attending there so far. What else? A lot of competitors. I think there was 10. Yeah, there was 10 competitors. Very well attended. Very professionally done. There was some issues with the music in like the first call out or so in the finals, but that was resolved quickly, thankfully. Where somebody's performing and the music cuts out halfway, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? When that kind of thing happens. Yeah, that happened there. What else? During the prejudging, I could tell it was going to be between Natalia Kovaleva and Julia Witzel. Yeah, because those were the two that were called out first. So I was like right away, like, okay. Because they do like the first call outs, and then when they are, trying to calculate who's going to be where, they do their second call outs, and they only called out those two. So it's like, okay, it's going to be between these two. And so Ron Harris, who's for Muscular Development Magazine, he was there as well, and he was doing like a YouTube segment with Jose, and they were talking about competition, and they speculated that Ron Harris summed it up best. He said, if you want to go with conditioning, you're going to go with Weitzel because of her glutes, buttocks area, much more developed there. But if you want to go for size and overall, you'd probably go with Natalia. So I thought there was a pretty good analysis of it as well. Interestingly enough, they changed things up a bit from 2022. You couldn't do photos anymore. No photos from cameras at all. I was like, what the? I managed to get a photo off before I was told, nope, can't do that. I was like, well, Thanks for telling me that ahead of time. And something like a change like that, you would think that they would tell us ahead of time, but nope. And let's see here. What else? I was in the VIP section. At first 2 rows for like media and judges. What else? I saw a lot of people there as well. This time, though, I did not see any Wings of Strength booth at this event. I was like, oh, darn. So there's no promotion of the women's bodybuilding side. I was just going around going like, nope, don't see anybody. So that was kind of, I mean, the only reason I even saw Andrea Shaw is because I just left early and I was like, all of a sudden, like, oh, wait, at the end of the finals, I was like, oh, snap, let me just get a picture really quickly. Same with Thomas Lee and what else? Just going over my notes here. Let's see. The Czech girl. I found her abdominals to probably be the best of any of the girls competing. What was her name?
Vera Medikova. I think.
Yeah.
Mikola, I think. It's one of those. Vera, yeah. She looks a little off this year compared to the last couple of years.
Yeah. There was something about her, the way she posed too. It was just, it was very conjointed. Is that the right word I'm using?
Mm-hmm.
But it was just very like, just very off. You know what I'm saying? Like I can notice these things, and I'm just sitting there, taking my notes and being like, okay.
Okay. Right here we have Raheem Hamilton says, this show just started. Yeah, Raheem started a little early because my man Jim, he has a job and he told me that he had to go to work at 3. So, and since he was there at the show, he's talking about his thoughts to show his experience because what we need. He was there with his boots on the ground. He was there with his boots on the ground first.
10 toes down.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, too. Also, he says, I was going to go to the show, but it was in Teaneck, New Jersey, and there's nothing to do out there, and it's cold all day. Okay, and it says they should have had brought it back to the Tribeca Theater where it used to be at the in the past. The thing is, I think because it's cost a lot more to have any kind of shows in New York, and bodybuilder, unless you have deep pockets, they generally are going to go someplace where they save money. Technically, you should call it New Jersey Pro. If they don't have in Teaneck, New Jersey, but because it's been called New York Pro so long, or they just call it the Beth Francis Classic.
Stop deceiving people.
Yeah, and it says, "Is Andrew really short in person?"
No, she's actually taller in person.
What height? What's her height? What would you say?
5'5.5.5 inches.
5'9". I'm taller than her.
Well, that's pretty tall for a woman. That's probably a little bit slightly above average.
Yeah, because I figure like most women like around between I would say 5'2" to 5'3", maybe 5'4", and anything past 5'5" is pretty tall for women. Like anything like 5'6" to 5'7".
Yeah, I didn't know that. There's a lot of women that I see that's my height, or I don't know.
Women on average are shorter than men. That's just a fact. Like, women also tend to live longer than men too. So that's another little factoid we should know about.
As you know, with men we have natural testosterone, and women don't have it, and testosterone can affect some things.
They do have testosterone, but it's lower amounts.
Very low amount.
Men also have estrogen, but it's lower amounts.
Yeah,
it's kind of like just going by like.
Because it's like they say that when you're born, actually, that you're actually more close to female, but it's just that process of how your body develops. And then
every person is born female by default, and then they become male or female in the womb.
Yeah, So as you going, he says, steady.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There was Yeah. So Natalia, I thought she probably should have won first. Honestly, um, I just didn't see anybody else like Julia Whitesell. I don't know. Just she was off in some areas. I found you know what I'm saying. She is a big girl. She's pretty tall, and I think if she keeps competing and working on those body parts and more size, I think she could be able to win a competition. Um, Her glutes were pretty insane, and I know she had a lot of fans in the audience. I don't know if they were like friends, fans, audience, or whatever, but there's like a lot of guys like, I heard a lot of guys shouting like, "Oh, glutes to strike the pose." Um, I heard the word "money shot" being used a lot when she was doing like a lot of good poses, and if you guys know where that term comes from,
Yes, we do. We do. We do. You don't need to give us. Yeah, we know, but it's basically really it's originally more to photography and taking pictures, and then the another aspect of the adult industry used it because that's the scene they end off when you watch a porno. You watch the guy go and then boom, it's the money shot. But it goes back actually to photography because when photographers taking pictures and the girl is doing like doing the right pose, then that's what we say that's the money shot because that's a shot that we like something like a well, I'm trying to think of a classic pose like that famous pose from Sports Illustrated with Sherry Teagues in the mesh bikini. That's very popular. Or Farrah
or
Fawcett.
or films in general, like like the part of the film where it's like this is where most of the money went in for that big climactic moment, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Right here, my man Raheem Hamilton is saying, um, 5 foot is where women's is 5 foot for a woman that's short for me. Okay, yeah, I stand like that. Also, he says they could have went to Newark or Jersey City. My guess they could have, but the thing is that
Newark.
Newark and Jersey City probably cost a little bit more. Teaneck is a very smaller town. They'd probably get the a lot cheaper for the venue because it takes New York, and Jersey City are two of the biggest cities in Jersey. Even though Jersey's it's kind of very small. So, it's almost as small as Delaware. You might say Rhode Island. Let's see. He also says, you know, it seems that Natalia will be the next Miss O this year. I don't know.
No.
No, that is the question about that, Raheem. She's not that complete. She has a great physique, but the thing is that I think the judges. It's kind of like with the Irish situation. Now, Alina could have been champion the last couple of times, but I think the judges are going to go with aesthetics over. But if she does win, she wins. If she don't, then truthfully, it's just that and Andrea is very dominant, and he says uh, they should never use money shot again. It says we will. He says who he asks this: who has the Andrea Shaw pick? Well, I'm gonna do this favor for you, Raheem. I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to show you who has the pick because I got the pick. He sent it to me the other day, and it kind of burned my biscuits. Yeah, I shouldn't be hating, but the hater came out of me. It couldn't be helped.
So
It couldn't
I
be.
got a
Well, I
question.
mean, I think if you want it even worse, I think the person who I gave my camera to take the photo was who was that one female bodybuilder who retired? I forget her name at the moment,
Beth
but
Francis.
not Beth Francis. It was the one girl. She's black, but I can't remember her name at the moment. I'll look it up. I'll find her. I can remember her. She retired in last year, so
You must be talking about Christina Bryant,
maybe.
or because I know you know Margie the moment you see her because
Yeah, I know who she is.
see last year it's like a There's a, sound like it might be Christina Bryant, because that's the only one I heard that retired last year. Because she said she wants to step away from bodybuilding. But
I know the face. That's I can say, but I can't.
I kind of
yeah,
want to piggyback on what you said, like during the show, you can't take no pictures there. Like,
I was told very specifically by the security guard, no pictures. He pointed to the sign that very specifically said it, and it
what
wasn't
about
like
filming? I'm sorry.
Well, let's see. If I can't take pictures, obviously I
most
can't.
of you can't film.
I'm
Yeah,
just
I can't.
asking.
I couldn't.
I'm just asking.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, it's understandable. Like I couldn't take filming for both times I was there, but I could at least take photos with my phone last year. This time, nope, can't do that.
Oh, okay.
No.
Specifically among the media, only media personnel.
Yeah, because I think they try to cut out, a lot of people sending out, videos and stuff out into the cause especially these photographers, because they like to put stuff. Because usually, when they do the shoots, like the photo shots, usually it'd be like the next day before they start posting them. They posted the photo shots from the prejudging that day, because some ladies already got the pictures and start posting on social media. I know some ladies who don't follow NBC News online like I do, and I sent them the links to them, and some ladies say thank you, because you know what, they were waiting for, because they like to take those, they like to take those pictures and put them on social media. Sometimes what they do is like they jump on like NBC News online or other sites that might have the pictures already, but then they usually just don't know when they will see come out. But like I said, folks, I'm gonna pull up the picture right here, and it burns my biscuits. It does, it just burns my biscuits, and just look at it. Look at it, guys. Look at it. Just got it down right. And, I'm going to my arms.
Relax, man. It ain't like he took her out on a date, man. Be happy for the guy, man. Jesus.
What? Hey, excuse me something. Don't ever tell me what to be happy or not.
I'm just saying.
You can be muted and pushed out, brother. You heard it? Right? All right? Make me flip out and do that Booker T when we call Hulk Hogan the come for you. Nah, I'm gonna say it, but I like this. I said like this. I said, shout out to my man, partner in crime on the MuscleTalk Mondays live stream. He went to NY Pro this weekend. Now we got a problem because he got his arm around my girl. But you know what? Guess who commented on it?
But she looked nice though. I ain't gonna lie.
She does. She's a beautiful woman. He says, thank you so much for the support, guys. And that's from the lovely Miss Pretty Muscle, Andrea Shaw, and she is a beautiful woman. That's why I say I don't think Natalia's going to win, because even though Natalia, she does have because she has the complexion, because she's white. But I just don't think she's going to, beat Andrea's overall aesthetics. Andrea always comes in great conditioning, and it's tough. I mean, even, you have to be on your point. She has to be really off for her to lose against any of these other women, but like I said, I'm a fan. I respect you, man. I have a lot of respect for you. So, my man Raheem, he just said they should never use. Sorry, that's the wrong one. He says, this says, George, shoot your shot at Andrea. I bet you got a chance, bro. I doubt it, because I heard some stuff that she might have a dude.
She does have a dude.
Yeah, I
know the specific name too. It's
yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Life goes on.
Yeah, I know. A poor woman like that, she gotta have a man or a woman sometimes in some cases. But I know that. I know that. But
I mean, there's somebody. It seemed like the ones that look really good, they don't have nobody though. That's funny.
In some cases, yeah, the ones that like but others, and sometimes it's just
Yeah, obvious.
Yeah. It's just, he says Raheem says this, says wear all her muscles. They're under the dress. You can see her. She still has great pecs. Yeah, it says Natalia got big chest, big breasts, bro. Well, big breasts is not enough, because some girls are getting penalized because they're getting too large. and
Yeah, hers was pretty big. It wasn't enough to like take away from the overall physique. Um, but she was she had some pretty large jugs to say the least.
yeah,
Um,
because
I
when she
think that's
first
one of the
started,
reasons why overall she was chosen because overall aesthetically pleasing.
mhm. And but like I said, that's not enough. You have to really have the aesthetics is good, but aesthetically pleasing good, but you have to have good muscle aesthetic. But she does like Natalia has really evolved because she's been competing for a good while. She's like I think Natalia's in her mid-20s now. You know, I actually saw her when she was at Savannah last year when I went there. I didn't recognize her off because she was dressed in black, her hair was down, but but we're going to show a little clip here from her posing routine for the New York show. I'm gonna pull it up. And there it is. What's going on? It's slowed down a little bit. I don't know why it's doing this, but
Yeah, it's moving at like 1 frame per 10 seconds.
yeah, I think that's how they set it up for the. But here it is. It speeds up a little bit. You know, but I think one of these she does have good sex. She did make some improvements because she hadn't competed since I think 2019 no 2021 or to 2020 2021 last time she competed. Try to remember. You know, and you know
She has made a lot of improvements. Like
mhm.
when I saw her last year, I was like kind of like shocked. I was like, she looked much bigger in person than I could remember. I was like, whoa. Like man, if she started competing again, she might win. Like this year she did. So um,
Mhm. The thing is, I think one thing is she does need. She's still a little lacking in about the legs and the quads. Because I think
yeah,
she's slightly taller. You know, that's the one thing that if she doesn't have those overall good, deep, developed size legs, she has good tapering waist, good upper body, good amount of size, but what they're trying to pull away from size more or less about conditioning. But here, Julia Wessel, I heard that Julia was sick. That she had like I think she was under the weather. I think she had like a little food poisoning. This is one of the figure competitors. This is where But I was going to try with that video, Julia, right here. And Julia, I think you know she's also a bell tosser. I think Julia's like 5'9".
yeah,
And with the taller women, they really have to work. Not just she like I said, she wasn't. She might look like she wasn't dry enough, but I think because of her being sick might have affected that. If she came in just a little more drier and just better conditioning, she probably could have won. You
How
know,
could you tell that? I mean,
well, you can see how that dry look is when you really when everything pop. You're more vascular. With Julia, you really see the glue. She has good styration, but when you look at the back detail of the back and also around like
yeah,
yeah, and also around the abdominals, it looks like it's a little bit more space.
mm,
Like usually some ladies they usually carb up after the prejudging, and they look a
yeah.
little fuller. She looked like she carved up before the prejudging. That probably was because of the fact that she was sick. You really see how around the abdominals how it's just not as it don't
yeah.
pop.
Okay.
You know, she has good details in the quads, but I think it was because she's probably under the weather. You know.
Mm. I wouldn't know the difference, man. Tell you the truth. I mean, I mean, there's some things like you look at, compared to the other women, you see some differences, but I think it takes time. I don't know, man.
It takes.
Well, we've been doing this for years now, so like literally years, and like it's not like this is anything new. I mean, I've been following this since like 2006, basically, and
Well, the
like I know,
competitions, like
yeah,
I just like look at the pictures, the displayed them. Like I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. When I was younger, I was 16. I looked at the magazines, jerked off. and you know, what I mean, sometimes read about them shits, you know, and sometimes look at it on TV. But I never really was like so,
Oh, she's
you
good.
know, like so focused, you know, so much on it, like how they look, the conditioning and symmetry, all this stuff. You know, it was just entertaining to me just looking at it, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But like I said, yeah, it takes time to, because you have to understand, like, yeah, I looked at it. I did the same thing too, like you, but then, like, over time, since I was doing this and studying, you
Right.
know, I relearned some stuff, especially with the ladies I've talked to over time. A man right here, I think you might correct on this, says, mid-20s, she looks older, okay, if you say so. I believe she might be just 30. Because I know she's been competing for a good while, but, some of these ladies look younger than you think you actually are. Georgia should shoot your shot at Margie Martin. Then since she retired, she already got somebody shooting at her. So you might as well forget about it. She had a couple of somebodies. I hear some things about Margie, because I got people who know her that know me and they tell me stuff. But yeah, it says Steve says bro, TMI on the jerk off on the max. Shaking my damn head. Yeah,
That's when I
well,
was a kid, dude. Shut
well,
up, man.
still, but we all know. Come on, guys, we all know we did it. Don't it may be too much information, but we all know we did it.
I mean, we
Yeah,
men up in here, yo. Come on. I
yeah, we
mean,
men
come
in
on.
here.
Like, it ain't like no woman here and shit like that. Like,
And then if it was, some of them, they might laugh about it. And some of
yeah,
them, pretty much know about it.
I told some of them, like, I think I told like a couple of them that, you know, I did other things. I didn't say exactly how I'm saying it now, but I said in a way that they know I did it. So, I
Yeah, I
mean,
did.
come on. Like,
I get kind of same thing. I kind of like yeah, I've been a fan of yours in magazines and I did some stuff too, but kind of like this kind of thing. And they know it because you know what? They know that you know we women like them excite us. It's no different from when you're coming up when you're younger and you find one of your brother's playboys,
so I
or
gotta
Pit
ask
House.
Raheem a question. So you just look at them, like, especially like with the exotic stuff, or I'm gonna just look at them and study the glutes and come on, dude, stop that bullshit, man.
He's one of those guys. He bought the Playboys and read the articles.
Like, you sound like an idiot, man. Like, stop capping that bullshit, man. I ain't trying to hear that shit.
Let's move on from that and let's go. Okay, you know. Wait a minute. He says, you told them when you first met them. Well, yeah, we just have a discussion, having fun, a conversation. It's kind of like it didn't come out like, hey,
You
yeah,
gotta
bring
pay
off the
him no
pictures.
mind, man. You just gotta pay him no mind. He's a
I know.
clown.
His thing is, this is what my man James used to like that. Sometimes like this, argue. A wise man told me never argue with fools because from a distance no one can tell who is who. So don't there's no one time. He's gonna say what he's gonna say. So I'm gonna like this. But so between Julia and Natalia, they were the top three. Natalia was I think she came in better condition. From what some people said that maybe this was a show that wasn't a lot of great conditioning. I think some people were a bit off. One surprise was Renee Marvin, who hadn't competed in as a bodybuilder for nearly 9 years. She did compete as a figure competitor back in 2016, but she stepped away from the sport, come back, and she got third place as one of the biggest shows for women's bodybuilding.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, especially for that long one from the sport.
Mm-hmm. And I've been talking to contact with her, and and she looked all right. I think some situations where the condition was a little off, especially from the back, from pictures I've seen, because I just did a video, my comparison videos last Sunday. I did it when I did it Sunday. Yeah, I did Sunday, and it was between her and Donna. And Donna, compared to her last year New York performance, she wasn't as put together as she was last year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why she got fourth. Yeah, kind of disappointing for her, but is what it is. What it is.
Yeah, I think you remember that when she competed at the Indie Pro, she took fourth, bounced back and won New York. Now, this Toronto coming up next weekend. Well, week after next, actually. You think maybe if she does that show, she can bounce back, or she just gonna wait and maybe do like Chicago. That's coming up in later in June, and then there's also the Atlanta show coming up in July.
Yeah.
Also, my man Raheem Hamilton says, "I'm no fool." Well, I just said a quote. I ain't to call you one, but hey, that's how you feel like. That's how you feel like. Yeah, he says, just answer the questions. You can ask your questions, but like I said, say the quote. You know, don't take it as offense. It's just a quote. And also,
Yeah.
what's up, guys? I hope you are doing well. Kubaleva and Marvin threw me off big time with my top five prediction. Well, Vinny, what was your top five predictions? Because I felt like it was most possibly because the point I didn't know about retired till we did the list. Kristen Mendoza was supposed to do that show, where I heard, but she dropped out of it. So there's a good chance that Christina might do Chicago because she did Chicago back in 2021, or she might try to do Atlanta. And like I said, there's so few American shows to do. So and it's Tampa. I don't know if she can go all the way to Portugal, or she might try to do Toronto because we all know you know uh, we all know that the Puerto Rico Pro has been dropped. I don't know what's going on with that. That's a,
Omaha.
hmm?
Omaha.
Well, everybody got kicked out of Omaha.
Wait,
Omaha, yeah, Omaha's still going because they're gonna have Bezique. But we're about to make it because Omaha's been the same week as Toronto Pro. But they got kicked. We're about to got kicked out because only two competitors that year. And I know one lady who I know, she felt like she should have done that show that year, and she felt like she thought it was won her Olympic qualification. But she would listen to her coach. Sometimes if you feel like you have opportunity to do something, you should take it. But because there's been issues with the Titonis and we the strength from the past and stuff like that, and they just feel like this one of the reasons to kick out women's bodybuilder because Omaha didn't have too many shows anyway. At one point I think they used to have men's classic, but then eventually because they couldn't afford it, they were just it was women's physique, women's bodybuilder. Now it's just women's physique show now. So maybe somebody put some money up. This is something outside this. This is why I talk about this quite often. And you feel like women bodybuilding don't have enough shows, talk to these promoters. And I'm saying that this is about making a profit. But if you feel like the person who feels like, you know what, it's not making a profit for me. It's just about seeing women's bodybuilding have a place. And and also like this, if you got deep pockets, you can write that shit off as a donation. A lot of guys do that. I mean, there's a lot of working men who do that. They can write it off as a donation. My man Raheem saying,
Oh boy.
9 years off, she looked great. Well, 9 years off is bodybuilding, but yeah, she looked great. Also, Vinny says this. He says, "I should pretty bad prediction. My part. Whistle is number one. Sabib number two. Andrew Sauer number three. Nunez number four, and Tawana Smith five." Well, he did get one right. Tawana Smith did take fifth. And Angela, I say Andrea, we were talking. She was kind of disappointed that I thought she was gonna place a little better than I think Andrea got eighth at the show. I mean, it was eighth or sixth. I'm trying to remember. And I mean, I thought she's gonna do a little better, but I like Andrea Sauer. She's an amazing lady. She sent me some stuff a while back. I feel like she might need to switch over to physique. Because she's been, even though she's doing huge bodybuilding the last couple of years, she's if you look at some of the girls in physique now, they're getting a lot larger compared to women's bodybuilding.
Yeah. So Ron Harris, who again I'm going to cite, when I was going over because I listened to his reviews between these events. He basically said that so for women's physique, it seems to be like this sort of bizarre mixture of like women who could pretty much compete as bodybuilders, and it wouldn't even like be that much different. and some of them just look like figure competitors. So it's like a weird mix in that division. So he kind of summed that up.
Yeah, because I was talking to one lady who I did an interview a while back. We were talking about how she felt like one thing is like someone Natalia coming in here, and and Natalia and Emily, as they're the top two at the Pittsburgh Pro about a few weeks ago, and the bit is that what is the criteria? So I'm gonna pull this picture. This is Emily Sherbert, who competed at the you know at the um at the New York
New York
Pro.
Pro.
Yeah. And Emily, aesthetically, she's a bit on the bit small, but look at her lats. Her quads a lot larger than some of the physique competitors that come out here now. She has good density. She's kind of like from the back. I can see aspects of someone like Sarah Vilgas. Especially around the glutes. But then like I said, her quads a lot bigger than some of the women who are in physique right now. And this is the debate where, what is the criteria? And if these guys come in more shredded and a lot larger, because the idea of physique was supposed to be a softer, more feminine look to get away from the look of women's body. But like from the back, you can see her quads, you can see her calves. I mean, everything is just more dense. The insertions, you know, who's who got their phone on? Because I can hear myself talking back.
Oh shit, my
Put it
bad.
on mute. Put it on mute. All right. She could probably, if she had jumped over to women's bodybuilding at that show, she probably would have beaten Natalia.
Yeah. Or gotten second. Yeah, it looks really close. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a possibility because it's like you had Natalia Quayle in women's physique, you had Natalia Kovaleva in women's bodybuilding. The two Natalias. It was a double Natalia. That's why I have it on the avatar. My man Jim wanted to put the avatar for his video. Was his picture with Andrea, but the problem was the file was too large for YouTube, so I couldn't use it. So that's why I had the one made. But yeah. And then if you look over here at Natalia, Cueto, this will be coming up in a minute. That's wrong one. Wait, I think it's wait a minute. That's one of the 212 guys. Let's see. Thought it was there it is. All right. And you look at someone like Natalia, when Natalia started, she was one point she did, I think she did bikini for a minute, and then she was figure, and then she eventually went up to physique. And you can see, not as dense in the quads. Still, she has that more smaller waist. Look at her shoulders, and her lats are just out there. It's just as it's where I saw a video where this guy I follow. His name is Mark Max Muscle, and he used to do MuscleTalk. He used to thing like he was the guy who inspired me to do my comparison videos. He used to do it largely with the men, but then later on he started doing some with the women. He used to have a only women's slave, but he stopped doing it because people, a lot of these guys who was following started unfollowing because they like to see the female body. They had a problem with bikini competitors or wellness, but they had a problem with female bodybuilders, physique competitors, and even some figure competitors. But Natalia has back shoulders a lot broader, tapering waist, and this is some women have issue with it. Some of the girls who are competing in physique now, they feel like the bigger girls are going to get rewarded, and the women who come in more of the look that was like maybe the early Demi Bailey or Julie McCarr are getting pushed out. You feel like you don't get an opportunity. The show, this the same time as having this show here in New York, they showed the Ultimate Classic, and that was Saturday too. And they who won that was her name is Alina Romero Alvarez, and she's from Spain. And I remember one lady who I did an interview with back. We talked. She said like she was way bigger and way dense compared to the lady who won it last year, Mimi, and one of the other ladies was there who went to the league back in 2021, Anna Haas, who competed at the Tampa. Last time she competed at Tampa after she Texas Pro. But the looks is just it's getting far in which these women are looking like maybe somebody posted something. If I can find it, I think it's on the Female Bodybuilding channel. I'll probably pull up later, and I can find that picture where they posted how they did like a thing where they compared like was it I think it was who was it? A picture of Iris Kyle and Lena Popa, and they had to compare it with Andrea and Natalia. But the looks are just getting to the point where you just when I looked at it, I'm thinking about it. Those were like people like Alina back then, back in it was 20, I think it was 2013 or 2014. Iris back then are looking like the women in physique today. Where it looks. Marianne just popped back in. How you doing?
Yeah, y'all can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
I had a abort ship with on my other phone, so I had a
All right,
tablet. I'm
that's
using
all
my
right.
tablet.
All right. Anyway, here right he says Emily is fire, and hearts. He says also, he says this is a problem with bodybuilding and why young people are not going into the sport because there's no money and shows are being shut down. You got to give reasons why young people should be in. Well, I know, but still, there's still young people competing. But the fact is, the big problem is, mainstream, as we all know, it's not considered a mainstream sport. If it was more mainstream, it would be more popular. And like I said, but there's no one really standing up for it. No opportunities for it. If like one thing I talk about, like someone like Andrea can go on and do some press conferences, talk to some of the big news networks, like do something like go on CBS this morning, Today's Show, Good Morning America, ESPN, something like that. Maybe if somebody will see that, but a lot of people come to this sport is because they like when some of these ladies like they were like trying to work it out because like I remember with Melina Perron how she was overweight and she was losing weight and she was getting healthy and she got into sport because somebody said you look like a bodybuilder. And that's why some many get to it. Some many get into it because of either for a personal goal or because they want to try something different or just have a passion for it. If this sport was more mainstream, then it could do a lot better. But the problem is, like I said, the ideology of women with muscle is kind of offensive. Even guys, even though men's bodybuilding does make a little bit more revenue for the sport, it still is not considered, a true, real mainstream sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I keep saying that. I know there's fans out there who have deep pockets of fan of sport and they want to keep it going, then step up. I love to go to the shows, but like I said, I can't afford it. I have one lady who reached out to me and she's going to do
Let
Atlanta.
me ask you.
Go ahead.
I got a question. Like, why when like in the 80s and 90s, it seemed like it was a bit popular, like because it was something new or something like that.
No, no. What it was because I remember we had a conversation with one lady I did an interview, right? Because at the time, the action movies, Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Dolph Lundgren, you know,
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Yeah, I
the
got you.
guys, those guys who came in, Schwarzenegger who started it all. If you go back to old
Right.
action stars, most of the guys like were like guys like Charles Bronson, and Charles Bronson had a great physique for a man of his age. He was very healthy. Clint Eastwood, but then the
But
guys got bigger.
he was a body. He wasn't no bodybuilder.
Charles Bronson, he was never bodybuilder, but he was
Oh.
in great. He was very physical, good
You said
condition.
Charles Bronson?
Yeah, Charles Bronson, he was very good. If you go watch
Oh,
him his old movies, and you see how well conditioned he was. He wasn't like a bodybuilder, but he was like very athletically built. Even Clint Eastwood was very athletically built.
okay.
You know, you can go back to but then by the 80s, everything got bigger. It's like if you go to the comic books, how comic books change, how they get the big in the good part of the 80s, the big guys got bigger, the guys got bigger, got more muscular.
Right.
You had the era of guys like Tom Plaza coming up. You had the era of the Ronnie Coleman's. You know, you had Lou Ferrigno's Incredible Hulk. You had Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator, the Predator. You had Stallone, Rambo movies, the Rocky movies. You had Dolph Lundgren. He played He-Man. You know,
I get it. I think I get it.
and then that shows like American Gladiators was coming out
Nah,
that time.
yeah, that exactly. You hit that. You hit the nail with that. But I think like during the years, like why isn't it so popular as well? I guess maybe because they don't want to kind of like what's the word I'm trying to say? They don't want to showcase too much of women looking like that. If I could say that,
Well,
too
not just
masculine.
yeah. Well, not just I say women, but also can't forget also men too, because they feel like remember that muscle is just if you got that much muscle, you're taking something. That's true. You are taking something. You'll build that much muscle naturally. Natural bodybuilders don't come in. They're more come
Okay.
conditioned than they have size. You got to build, and also the fact is with size is you have to eat more. If you don't eat,
Right.
even natural bodybuilders eat a good amount of food, but then you need that extra size because you know what? That's what brings attention to the sport.
Yeah. Hey guys, sorry to
Mm.
interject, but I'm gonna go soon. But I just wanted to like finish up with some of my last minute comments about the New York Pro. Um, there was no pose down this year.
What?
No pose down. Yeah,
What the hell?
yeah. It was literally they did women's bodybuilding first in the finals, and yeah, it's weird because they do it in such weird order. So in like the prejudging, it's women's bodybuilding, men's bodybuilding, and then it was like figure. This time it was women's bodybuilding, but then they didn't do the awards. They stopped that. They put that on a halt, and then they did women's figure, and then they did the awards. But there was no post down, and they only announced the top three.
But they did have pose now for men's bodybuilding, right?
Yes.
That's the fucked up part right there. That is really is. I mean, the problem is even though this is a show where they brought women's bodybuilding, but I think the big problem is because the fact is Women's Strength has pulled. I guess because Women's Strength has pulled their interest in the New York Pro.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
was no Wings of Strength booth at the show. And also another thing I noticed as well, I was going over some of the names there. So outside of Bob Ciccarello, there's a lot of names that I found familiar. Um, Dan Solomon, Harris was there. Um, Michelle Brent, I think she was sitting like a few seats away from me. Um, Isabel Terrell, I saw her. There was also um, who was the guy married to Beth Francis? What's his name?
Steve Winstrom.
Steve Winstrom, the guy who
No, Weinberger. Steve Weinberger.
Weinberger. Yeah, he's the guy who sponsors the show. But there was something I did notice. The Manions, they were there as well. In fact, I noticed it too because we did a whole thing about the Manions, an entire series about it, an in-depth, very long Washington Post article thing about the Manions and their, control over the sport. And it was Jim Manion there. His son was there because I saw him like, taking photography and everything else. And literally, as they were announcing who the judge was, they said, the head judge, Tyler Manion. I'm like, Jesus Christ. It's like they got the whole family here and everything. It's like, how many more Manions are going to be at this sport,
Well, the man is pretty much they're the ones. They're the big boss. They're the big family. They're kind of like it's like I said. I remember how one lady told me this. It's like the mob, and we all know Jim. Jim Manning himself. He's the big boss. He's the big boss. You know, JM. He's even though he's technically more or less the next in line, but he's not as interested. He's more of a capo. Tyler's the one who's next in line. Usually you don't usually skip over the son that goes straight to the grass. It's kind of like in the movie The Godfather. how when Don, Corleone died, and then Sonny got killed, and even though Fredo was older than Michael, they skipped over Fredo to Michael, and Michael was a little more intelligent. You remember the scene where
Yeah.
uh where Michael's at the motel talking to Fredo, how he gets slapped around by Moon Reed, said, Fredo, you're my brother. I love you, but never go against the family. You know, and that's how it is. It's a mob mentality. Like everybody like guys like even guys like Jake Wood and Gary Unit and and uh you know and Tim Gardner. They're all capos. They bring in the money to the big boss, and that is Jim Mannion. He's gonna be there because they have investments.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So George, I'll bring up whatever other things I can find next time about the New York Pro, and hopefully we'll also be talking about Toronto soon. But I gotta go because I gotta get ready for work and get a nice shower and shave and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Have
Well.
a good one, everybody. I had
Yeah.
to
All right, player.
drive back from T- where was it from
Just like
Pennsylvania
New Jersey. Just came back from Jersey. Just came back from Jersey.
Jersey. So I had to go from Pennsylvania, Jersey, back to Pennsylvania. And then the next day I had to go back to Jersey and then back to Pennsylvania again. So I'm exhausted.
Next time you get a motel, it's money.
I money. I don't want to waste it, but
Yeah, but then you sit burning gas.
How much the
yeah.
ticket?
I
How
am
much one ticket costs to go to the show? Like,
the VIP was like 70 for one, 50 for prejudging. So like let's go with like 120 something. To get a full day pass, it's like 200 plus maybe.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. I'm heading on out. Peace.
All
right, peace.
Peace.
Well, that was my partner in crime, the hand of the emperor. Jen, and he was rubbing up my girl. I just got right now. I'm just feeling some kind of weird guys here. So let me be my feelings. But yeah, but aspects of this, I don't know. I feel like when he just said they didn't have the final pose down, I feel like there might be a good chance they might push out Fear Body Bear from New York Pro next year. I hate to think of this, but it sounds like there's a good chance this might happen. I don't want to see it happen because it's getting so few shows now. I think because last year Jake Wood said that they canceled the ambassador program, so that's why there's no people working the booths. Even you can go to Winspear page, they don't even post any pics from the show.
Yeah.
Sometimes they might have their own photographers go out there, especially if you have someone like Natalia, who's pretty much she's tight with Jake. And you would think, hey, they would there have somebody there but Andrew's there. I think I think I saw a picture where I think Jake was there. I don't know. Maybe it's something else. But this show, it was a good show, and we had at least 10 women at the show. And last year was one point it was going to be 9, but then the one woman, Giselle Chan Nunez dropped out, and now she came back and she redeemed herself from last year because she was really off. When she competed at the Toronto Pro, she came in really not as in conditioned. But the one lady we were talking about is Vera Medikova. Medikova, she's from the Czech Republic. And I've seen some pictures. I saw the pictures from the show. I don't know what's going on. She usually comes in pretty shredded. There's always been a debate about her being not 100% female, but the good chance that possibly because she used too much stuff that she might have kind of turned a bit. I don't know the whole story of it. I'm just going by hearsay.
Got a picture?
But well, I'm about to pull it up.
Okay.
Yeah, and there she is right there. She, mm, she competed last year at the Puerto Rico Pro.
Yeah.
I think she took second to Bronca. She looked a little, I don't know, maybe the suit, maybe the tanning. Not as conditioned like she could have been a top, four places compared to her last couple of years as a physique, but she might be getting ready because she's a coach and trainer back in Czech Republic. She might be getting ready to step away from bodybuilding. I don't know. She probably just competed to want to compete. Also, I want to say congratulations to Wanda Smith. As you know, Wanda Smith was originally she competed. She has been pro for a good while, but she make a pro debut till last year at the Arizona Pro in physique. She made the switch over physique to women's bodybuilding. I think it's a good fit for her. I wish I can find a picture. You had it somewhere here. No, I saw a picture of it. It was in the female bodybuilding. There's a picture of Natalia, her transformation. This is where I think she competed at New York Pro about a few years back. Let me see. There's a let's talk about there's gonna be Julia might be doing the Toronto Pro and also I know Teresa Vasic has signed to do that show. So this possibly might be a battle between Teresa and Julia. You know, let's see. This is a picture of Julia with I think this is like from last year for Teresa. Let's see. So the point system, Vera got 6 after prejudging. Tawanda and Donna were beating Vera at the prejudging, they say. But Vera spent 90 of the time in the middle with Renee. Nobody switched scores for G judging. So some really okay. That's Anastasia from Russia. Is a big fan of hers. 4 weeks out post. This is Sherry Priami. There's a picture of Daniel with Chill Daniels, no longer with Shelby Starnes. She put some size there. It's a meet and greet they had with, this is a new pro. I think it's Tracy Jones. They had a pro am, they had an amateur qualification, the Junior USA's. I think it was in Charleston. Was it, someplace, There's a picture of Natalia. I saw that earlier. That's Yun Kim. This is the one lady you asked me about. She's from South Korea. She took 4th at the show. I don't know. She competed in New York a few years ago. She was in top 3 in physique. In that same year, her and Julia competed the same show together. I don't know. She looks like she's a little more dense in the quads. This is another competitor. I don't know her name. Potential for women's bodybuilding. Yeah. No. She still needs time to grow and develop. That's Angela Nore. Angela was talking. She felt like she's proud of her performance, but she felt like she could have done a little better. Angela, she's tall.
Did you speak to her?
Yeah. I sent her a copy of her pictures, and we were talking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Angela, she's tall. She said she didn't want to go back to. She don't want to go back to figure, but if she and she need to put on the size for women's bodybuilding. That's Diana Schneid. She's physique competitor from Germany.
Okay.
This is the look that I think they want to get back to for women's physique. Not too much muscle density, good lines, very feminine look. This is the one I feel like this is where I think Andrea Sauer would do better at in physique. Because Andrea's not that dense compared to some of the female bodybuilders. Now, this is from the clip here. Also, this is Taja Schroeder. She's from Germany. Something about the German female bodybuilders. They always come in just great condition, good muscle. I think she looked like she might have a little issue with her posing suit. She needs to work on that because it looks like she's gonna have a nipple slip if she's not careful. good with body. She might have potential for women's bodybuilding. And then we had Emily Sherbert again. And Emily, that's a question that she might need to go up, but I don't know will she ever. She as long as she top 2 qualification. I think this is Sarah Krill, I believe, from Australia. No, I don't think it's Sarah Krill. Who is that? No, this is Christina Wilson, La Titan. This is her debut.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I follow her on Instagram, IG.
Yeah, she's pretty good. They did have to post the pictures from women's bodybuilding, but that's gone because when stories, those videos don't last so long. This is mostly from women's physique from New York Pro. Yeah. Impressive. The big tattoo, I think sometimes it hurts some of these competitors. Still need maybe a little more tightening the glutes. Very appealing. This is the look they want. They want a good feminine look, good amount of muscle, but not too much muscle. Yeah. And this is the women's physique. This is the I think this was the top 4. Because you have Natalia, Emily. You really see the difference between Natalia and Emily, especially the quads. Take a look at it. And Natalia and Kim. And Natalia always has great abdominals.
So she beat her through the abdominals?
Well, overall, she has more tapered waist. They want the women to have, in the physique girls, don't have more tapered waist.
I see what you're talking about. I see. Yeah. I see it.
And you see from the back how right here in the middle, in between Emily's quads, how it's they're more close together compared to Natalia, a little more spread out.
Right.
I think this is that's Michelle Stevies, and that's Taja. And I see Taja's top needs to work. She needs to work on her because it's a little loose.
Mm-hmm.
Either you get a smaller top or you get breast implants. I think this is tremendous potential for shreds. This is talking about, I think this is the girl he was talking about earlier. I don't know her name. She's kind of cute, but I don't think she want to go to women's bodybuilding. I think she just need to come in better condition for physique. She'll do well. I think she should stay where she's at, especially when you're young. When your body starts getting to the point when you start put on exercise,
How young is she?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know much about this girl. I just saw the picture. This is here. This is Julia Furry. And lights out. This is Michaela Acosta Heaton at the Atlanta Pro in about 8 weeks. That's almost in July. She put on some size. And this is from the back view. I think from the Ultima Classic. That's Anna Harris, Mimi, and Alina. And Anna, bigger back. Mimi's a bit on the side between her and Alina. And this is Alina. This is the one that won the show at Shreveport. She's from Spain. Now she did a couple of shows. She did St. Louis, like about a few weeks ago, and then she did this show. I think she did Pittsburgh too. I don't remember. And this debate that is, I know one lady she's actually competed with. This Mimi, one thing she shouldn't have done won her glasses. I know sometimes you can't see, but any kind of thing that's not really part of the suit might have hurt. And she did pretty good. She won the show last year, but she took third. She has great conditioning, but I think she shouldn't wear her glasses. She competed at Pittsburgh, but still some more shows for women's bodybuilding. As long as Natalie Quayle don't do the show. That's Anna. Anna turned pro back in 2021. That same year she turned pro. She won her first show and then got to Olympia. She took second to Jeannie Feldman at Tampa, and I think she was top 3, top 4 at another show. I'm trying to remember. Good lat development. I don't know. She's tall. That's all. She was a picture of her and Sarah Vigor standing together, and Sarah and her high heels about the same height. I don't know. She has good, good definition. That's Martek from Canada. She competed. This is, I think, her third show, her second show in the U.S. because she competed at the Vancouver Island show like at least a month or so ago. Then she did St. Louis and did this show. I believe she took uh, fifth in this show, and that's Yaris Perez, and she's a United States Army officer. She's a captain, and she's had a birthday last Monday. She's a beautiful woman. She's Puerto Rican. Somebody's Puerto Rican woman. She's beautiful. She's a mother of two kids. She has amazing physique. I even reached out for an interview, but at the time she was moving. She was busy. Maybe I try again to see if she's interested once she's settled down, and she got kids and family, but she has a great physique. She's competed there last year at the Ultima. And also another lady who did an interview a while back, Tony McMurtry, she was at the show. Tony looked pretty good from the pictures. I mean, but I think, again, there were some pretty good shows over the weekend. Women's bodybuilding, they still need some more shows for them because it's so thin numbers for them. But it's just, it's how it is.
Yeah.
He says, listen to your show while working out. Thank you, brother. Man, Roy says, hello, Roy. Hope, we're a little bit earlier than usual, Roy. So, I think it's got to be at almost 1 o'clock in the morning for you. Also, we have here, would you like some of these women's competitors to move up to women's bodybuilding for sure? The more competitors, the better for the future of women's bodybuilding. Well, some of them are moving up, but the problem is for future women's bodybuilding is that they need more shows. Some of these ladies are moving up. As you know, Melissa Tike, she's moving up to women's bodybuilding, and she's doing the Chicago Pro in about a month or so. Some others have started to move up. Some might move up later. But the thing is, some of them, Jenny, they don't want to move because there's always a debate about the femininity thing, a lot of that. But then when your body starts to change and you get to levels where you are getting more dense, more definition, more size, and you can't keep yourself in physique because truthfully, you're not going to place too well. It's tough, but it's a decision you have to make. You sit down with your coach and say it, or here choices you have. Cut back in your training, drop down, and try to stay in physique if you can, or just get out of the sport totally. I know somebody said they wouldn't want to go back to figure because they want more high heels. So when they say they don't have the it'll take them, they don't have the time to drop down to that much muscle to do something like wellness, and then that's the only choice you have is to go up. I know you feel like you want to stay in the division that works for you. That's fair to say, but it just don't do no good. Especially if you train hard, train heavy. If you want to stay in physique, here we got to do: cut back on your training, cut back on your diet, and and don't lift as heavy.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. What you can say?
That was something pertaining to you, like you said earlier about you. It kind of like it had me thinking about you. You was talking about the doctor said you can't drink too much water, but you can't drink less water.
Because I have heart congestion. I have heart failure. I have heart congestion, failure, and when you have that builds up fluid around your heart. I can't have too much water. But like I said, I do take certain medications that will push out the fluid from around my heart, but I can't have too little water. So I have to try to, be smart. I may not take my pills too often, especially my fluid pill, because I do need that water because, for working out, because you need it because it does affect your overall, your kidneys, your vessels and all that, because you need water, hydrates your body. Our body is nearly 80% water. And even though, hey, you don't need too much of it, you still need enough of it to keep your body hydrated. So I just got to really go to my doctor, talk what I need to do, and maybe just, be a little smarter with how to take my medication. Because I've been taking this medication for a long time, but it's just that my guess now that I'm training, working out more, I need to be drinking more water. It's necessary I need. I mean, one doctor said also measure how much time I go pee. compared to how much water I take in. So if I pee a lot, I need to drink a lot more water.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold your head, man. That's all I could say.
That's all I can do. But the thing is, I think what can really help me with bodybuilding is still again if more people invest into it. Like we now see that the like my man Jen said that the Wing Street did not have a booth there this year. You know, there's talks. I think they're gonna focus more on the shows that Wing Strength shows like Atlanta, the Romanian show, and the Arizona Pro. I don't think you only have Wing Straight booths at the Tim Gardner shows, and that's Chicago and Tampa. But you know, I don't know. Maybe they might. It's up to them. And probably might have a booth at the Olympia show because hey, it's the Olympia Masters, and most definitely gonna have a booth at the Olympia because Jake owns that show. So I think Jake's gonna focus on shows where Wing Strength has a foot in. And as you know, with so many few shows, this is the problem is that you need to reach out to these promoters because you know instead again, Omaha is going to be the same week as Toronto. So you know, with that, I think you know there's only pro level show going to have only pro level division is going to have at Omaha is physique. While Toronto is a super show, it's going to have just about all the women's divisions and most of the men's divisions. So that's a big show. That's why now Teresa's going to do that show. I think she feels like she has a better chance of winning her qualification for the Olympia if she does that show instead of doing maybe Chicago or probably Atlanta or even, you know, she's not going to go all the way out of the country to go do a show like Portugal. Maybe Tampa would have been good, but, you know, depending if she doesn't win that show, she might try to do Tampa. Just need some people to really take an interest and maybe even put some money. I know the thing about this is a business and you want to get a return out of it. But if you can take a loss, maybe deduct it from your taxes, hey, that's good too.
Yeah. I don't got anything too much to say about that.
Yeah. We don't got no money to say anything about it, but hey, this is something that I think some guys out there get. There's guys who spend, especially wealthy guys, they'll spend $50,000 on a brand new car. They're just gonna burn out and just sit in their garage most of the time. And you know, and that $50,000 can go to maybe a promoter. You can use that money for the prize money for the women and to pay the sanction fees to the Mannion family, pay their dirge to the big boss. Also, it says they could try following the standard of what Andrew Shaw has shown us that for the past few years, it's some of them are worried about the femininity issue. Yeah, but the thing is, some women, it's just it's just sometimes it's just about genetics. And Andrea just has perfect genetics. Yeah. She is, it's like that movie, The Matrix. She's perfect. She might have some flaws here and there, but not too many. And and some women, it takes hard work to get that level. It's even try to hold even femininity. And some women will push because they want to go to the next level. They want to get bigger. They want to get better. It's just you got to remember again, these are still athletes, and they understand that yes, femininity is important, but they want to be recognized for their work ethic. Yes, they come in, they put on the makeup, they put on their hair, they do their nails, do all the stuff that women do, but still they want to be seen as athletes. The men don't have to put on makeup. They don't have to put on anything else but the tanning and a pair of banana hammocks or board shorts. But the fact is, because society feels that they're pushing away femininity just to get the aesthetics of muscle. But that's always going to be a debate. And they're never no one's going to be happy. Not the people outside of sport, not people inside of sport. There's never going to be a true happy medium, no matter how you try. But like I say, Andrew's just that perfect, port in the storm. People like
no, I was just saying. I think it just probably got to be more appealing to the public. That's all.
That's the big problem is that. But you're not always going to be appealing to the public because you know what, everybody has their idea of what femininity is, and it's just what you believe in. What is femininity? Maybe it's not the same as the other guy. Like how we talk about how Natalia has big breasts. Natalia Kavaleva, she has big boobs. The fact is, it can't take away the aspects of their entire physique. I've seen some girls who have huge jugs, you know, great physique.
Sometimes that ain't attractive. Like that's not all too attractive at a certain.
Hmm. Yeah, because I remember it was Barbara Carini who competed. She was from Italy. She retired because she felt she was placing well because your breasts were too big. Now before then, Barbara had a great physique. She had a nice size fake breasts. But then those last few years, she was going too much because because for her content. And then if you see her now, she just looks really, her face looks like she had those duck lips. She looked a lot better before, but then she got into plastic surgery too much.
Mm.
And and sometimes some women do plastic surgery too much that it does take away your more natural feminine look. Maybe a little stuff like here and there, maybe a lip injection here and there, something like that. But when it gets too much, you are not as feminine as you should be. You try to be overly feminine. You can get a bit. Mm, no offense to them. Know what? When I say that, that is gonna be offensive. I say because I'm gonna stop saying that. You can get a bit drag queenish in a way. And that's people have to because people are not big fans of drag queens or any transgender people. Especially those who even it's all most of it is more performance and act more anything, but that's how some people live and that's their choice and that's how it is. But fact is that sometimes you have to really try to find a happy medium, but it's hard to find a happy medium. They're never going to be a happy medium because one person say that may too much. My guess one person say that's too less. Like like somebody like Alicia Young. Alicia Young started. I remember she said that she used to be naturally well endowed, but because she started lifting weights, because that we all know breast tissue is natural fat.
Yeah.
And you lose that natural fat when you lift weights, especially do a lot of chest workouts, and a lot of other things to build your body. It needs that natural fat to build the body. I think Andrea, she's naturally well endowed because she works a lot like she does. She loses a lot of aspects of her, because breast is considered feminine. No matter what people say, breast is considered very feminine. Guys go uproar when we see a woman doing breastfeeding, but that's natural, that's nature. But they don't have a problem when we see a bus advertisement with some model with a cleavage out. It's not a big uproar at that. But you can't help it. Hey, woman has to feed a baby. You don't like it, turn your head. There's nothing you can do about it. You were sucking on somebody's titty when you were coming up, so that's you don't remember, but hey, that's how your mama fed you the first few years of your life. So you switch over to bottle, and then you're sucking titty now, but that's you're not sucking for nourishment. But if there's enough people out there who really see like these women are wives, I do my rest of my next few more days. I got my comparison videos got to work on where I'm dedicated to women who are female bodybuilders who are mothers. I got one coming out tomorrow. Okay. If you recognize that they're still women and they're athletes. I had a discussion with one lady who, we had a discussion because I told her, hey, I'm a big fan of women's bodybuilding. She's in another division. Her division, I'm starting to slowly trying to accept, but I feel like it's more of a intrusive division. And she felt like she was shocked. But, I told her that before. I wasn't too much a big fan of the division. But I'm starting to, as a content maker, I'm starting to expand my horizons on it and be open-minded. I love to do some more interviews with some women in her division, but some of these women, but truthfully, people have to recognize, even though there are different women come in all different shapes and form. What one man might feel attractive, another man might not. I know a friend. He likes big, tall women. He don't like short girls. I got a guy. He loves short girls. He don't like big women. I got a guy. He likes skinny girls. Some guys like fat girls. Some guys like women with long hair. Some guys like women with short hair. It's just about your preference. And like I said, I've seen people make comments. I was on a while ago. I was like looking at a video, and somebody made a comment. Actually, it was a post that just. Hey, Hey, mute it.
Hello? Oh.
Yeah, I'll give you feedback. You gotta mute something. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, but I'm reverbing because you either something's on, you gotta mute it.
There's nothing on. Let me put my headphone on because I don't know what you're
Yeah,
hearing.
because I hear reverb. I'm just gonna put you on mute. Because right now he's reverberating back on me. Because sometimes you might be, have your might be listening to something else and or listen to the YouTube channel and it reverbs back. I can hear that. But the truth of it is that as fans, we need to show our support as we can. If we can't show our support financially, just reach out to your ladies and tell them, hey, you're a great competitor. You're a great person. Don't be too weird, but at the same time, just be genuinely a fan. Let them know you care. And some of these ladies, they like that. Like sometimes I see little stuff here, some ladies I'm friends of, who I've become friends with, and they I mean, one lady say, George, I appreciate you saying that because the fact was, it made me feel like I can keep going. That somebody out there really wants me to succeed. And like I said, I like to see some ladies succeed. It's tough. And it's a hard sport. But if there's a way that people out there, if you're a promoter, feel like what, let me give women's bodybuilding a chance. Do that. If you're sponsors who say, what, you guys who are fan of women's bodybuilding, say, what, let me put a few bucks towards it. I may not get much what I get put into it, but at least I want to see the sport keep going. Just little things we can do. I can't say much else I can say. But this is, like I said, this was a good weekend for bodybuilding in general. We had a couple of good shows. I think that Shreveport show, that's a show that someone should reach out to about adding women's bodybuilding. It's a great show for a lot of older competitors to compete in because it's more of a, I call it more of a, Shreveport show is more like a master show that's Olympic qualification. That'd be a great show for older bodybuilders who may not want to, who said, like, what, if I do a show like New York, I might get my ass handed to me. So let me do a show in Shreveport. I was saying like one lady who was friendly with Emily Schubert. She said, like, why didn't Emily do that show in Louisiana? She probably could have won. She said, no, Emily want to go and go against the top best. Well, here's the thing is, you want to get your Olympic qualification. Nah, you really want to go ahead and go where you can most likely get it. Because you're going to do a show against the current Miss Olympia champion, the judges are going to go with her. Even though you come in good condition enough where you should beat her, they're not going to give it to you. So, you are getting stacked against you. I know you get a little extra money, but you really want to get that Olympic qualification. That's the second show she's won, and she's not going to go to Olympia. So a good chance, Emily, I think, take a break, sit back. You got a couple weeks off because Omaha is not till the 3rd. Toronto's not till the 3rd. Or Chicago, maybe Tampa, or there's some other shows that they have just, women's physique because they don't have women's bodybuilding. So think about, I always think, consider thinking about what you want to do next. Don't, anytime you see Natalia, just skip those shows. Because all she's doing is just wrapping up competition. That's the second show she's done. Took away because, they only have about 14 feet shows for women's physique. And she has cut down qualification down to maybe about 10, now and won the show in Vancouver. And, Pam Canfield won the show in St. Louis. And he won the Ultimate show. And Natalia won both Pittsburgh and New York. So there's 10 shows for Olympic qualification. 10. So that means that You know, some of these ladies, you better hope that Natalia doesn't do one of those shows that takes away your opportunity for the qualification. And if she does, you find a show. It's probably that maybe that if that same week as that show that Natalia's doing, jump on that show. If it's out of your way, then do it. If you want to guarantee yourself a win, do what you got to do to win. So, anything else?
No, you just said the whole thing, so I don't know what to talk about. I,
Well, you just had an interview. I listened to it. You know, she sounds like a nice lady. I might reach out to her.
yeah,
English a little bit broken, but like I said, I've done interviews with ladies who English is not as good, but you know,
yeah,
we had still had good conversation.
yeah. She was nice. She was nice. I just gotta edit it and put it out there because she just, told me all of a sudden yesterday, so I wasn't too prepared. So I just like recorded it. So
Yeah, it's
the
there.
other,
Yeah.
yeah, the other one that I was supposed to originally have on live, she got sick, so she want to do it this coming Sunday. So
It's something like that happens. I know, like,
yeah,
I had a couple of interviews I had where, either sometimes technical difficulties or it was just sometimes you got to work with your time schedule. You know,
yeah,
especially doing interviews overseas because you got to work with the time that works best for you because you
right,
know you don't want it too early in the day. You don't want it too early in the morning. You don't want it too late in the day. You want to work
yeah,
at you want to work at a good schedule that works for both of you.
yeah.
So anyway, it was a good talk. I know it was a little earlier than usual, folks, but you know what? Like I said, my man Jen, he want to come on because he was there at the show. He want to give his thoughts and his critique. We appreciate Jen. Shout outs to him. What we're gonna talk about, we might do a part two because he wanted to do a little more talking about it. We might talk about other stuff. As you know, see that next week will be that week of the Toronto Pro coming up because that's gonna be next Monday. And we're gonna talk about that. We might see, as you saw on the Female Body channel, Teresa Vosick and Julia Wessel is gonna do that show. So
Okay,
because I know Teresa already put in her paperwork because don't know who's gonna do that show yet till next week they put out the list. Also, the same week on that third, it's also the Omaha Pro. So I might, even though it doesn't have women's bodybuilding, as you know, I'm a content maker and on female bodybuilding. I am going to also mention that show. See who's gonna come there. I know my dear friend Brittany Brooks competed last year at that show, and I don't know if Brittany's gonna do any shows this year. I think she's gonna work on some things. But I said again, bodybuilding can use some help. You know, and I know it's the financial part. It's the hard part because all the people nowadays things are tight. Debt ceiling and all this shit is going on in the government. But like I said, the small thing you can do is just let these ladies know that you really are a fan of these ladies and support them. And that's what they really use the most, the support. The financial stuff, if it comes, it's good. But just the emotional support, I think is a lot better. So anyway, folks, I'd like to thank my man, Balls Deep for coming through, Raheem Hamilton, also Vinny and Roy, and all y'all who came in here to listen to this video. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Thank you for support. Thank you for my man Hannah the King himself, Jen. He goes yo. Thank you for KL the Wanderer coming through. Wandering in. Brother, you're doing some good work over there at your channel.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Like I said, there's so few of us out here who give these opportunities to share their stories. Because most of the channels that do bodybuilding are mostly going to guys, or throw in a few bikini girls every now and then, or maybe a few girls. Because but most of the time it's going to mostly be the girls that look more the aesthetically pleasing wise for viewers compared to the other division. But as I said again, these other divisions, I'm gonna give you a little attention, but not that much attention because the fact is, no offense to bikini wellness, to me, even though aspects is bodybuilding, but being a true bodybuilding fan, it's still not bodybuilding in my mindset. It does have those aspects of it, but I'm too much of being a hardcore fan of bodybuilding for as long as I have, but I still, like I said, I'm going to give you a shot. I'm going to show you a little bit more decorum, but still, I'm going to support women's bodybuilding because I think they need it the most. Because it's hard for ladies to get promoters. It's hard to get ladies to get sponsors. It's not easy for those divisions because those divisions are more, you know, you know, pleasing to the eye compared to women's bodybuilding. You know,
I have a question. Oh, do like the female bodybuilding channel? Do they cover like bikini and wellness and all that other division?
they might talk about wellness now and then, but they don't really cover it.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't really cover. They might, they might figure out a blip every now and then, but generally, they're going to focus more on women's bodybuilding because that's why I call it the women's bodybuilding channel. They're talking about physique a little. They've been talking about physique a little lot more in the last few years.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it's as you know, physique and women's bodybuilding are pretty much, even though yet the two different divisions,
Right.
there are so much similarities. And it wasn't for women's bodybuilding. There would be no fitness, there would be no physique, and would be no figure. Because women's bodybuilding started out, and truthfully was that women's bodybuilding did sound like bikini, but it evolved over time. Like any other sport, it's steadily evolving. But respect to all these competitors, be you bikini competitors, be you figure competitors, be you wellness, be you fitness, physique, most definitely women's bodybuilding. Respect you because I'd love to do some more interviews with maybe some wellness girls, maybe with some I did a couple of interviews with some amateur bikini competitors. I did one with a pro level competing competitor, But like I said, it's up to them because, like I said, I can't make nobody do what they don't want to do. Yeah. So anyway, folks, thank you for coming through, and thank you for support. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video, and like I said again, reach out to these women out there. If you're someone who has the means and the way to give the opportunity for women's bodybuilding to grow, to expand, if you don't have to be Jake Wood. You could be a guy who, like, you're a big fan, but you don't want nobody to know that you're a big fan because you have an image to protect. Just have somebody come out there and represent you. Represent your interests. And you feel like, I'm not getting my money back. Hey, I know a lot of you guys who are wealthy guys, you write off almost everything for taxes. That's all this is about. It's about, you want to get money back, but hey, you save a few bucks when you do your taxes the next tax time. Hey, that's it. You burn your money on things that are, things like brand new suit. I heard how people were like, so, like Sylvester Stallone used to buy underwear. He never wears the same underwear twice. He burned them and get rid of them. You think how much underwear you buy in a year, a day like that?
George, I'm gonna see you later, man.
All right. I'll see you later too. Anyway, folks, this is me always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk. Don't subscribe. I'm out.